All right, so we are going to be deep diving the 1994 classic film that I've never seen that you really loved. You and your brother Todd really loved, and still do. I'm
I
assuming.
love it. Todd tolerates it. I love it though.
Well, that's not what he said earlier. But anyway, but we are deep diving. This is our second time deep diving every opening weekend of baseball during spring break. We always deep dive a new baseball movie that is celebrating its anniversary, and this year is Little Big League. Last year we did Rookie of the Year, so check the description for that review there. That'd be fun. That was a fun conversation. Today we are talking about Mariners and Twins because the big playoff push was between those two teams in the final game of the season. But Little Big League, Terry, I really appreciate you letting me watching this, picking this one for us this year. This was a fun piece to watch because never seeing it myself. I knew about it. I've seen the image with the umpire looking down at the kid, and he's blowing the bubble gum. He never blew the bubble gum there. He blew some other words out of his mouth. But it was a really fun movie. And there was a lot of fun humor and some again, like we talked about Rookie of the Year last year. There's definitely some child labor laws going on there that weren't going to apply, but we're not going to be looking at that kind of stuff because
he's hiring himself, though. I mean,
that is true. That is true. Good point. It's a fun film. Why does this one kind of why is this one kind of a classic for you in your childhood?
Yeah, I've always loved this movie, and it's interesting. Like, we did Rookie of the Year last year, and I remember
That
you
was my
saying, like,
childhood movie.
yeah, that was like your childhood movie. You grew up with that. You love it. You've got this nostalgia for it. And I watched Rookie of the Year around the same time, right around when it came out. And I also watched Little Big League. And for whatever reason, well, I kind of thinking about it, I kind of know what reason, but Little Big League always stuck with me a little more than Rookie of the Year did. And the plots aren't that dissimilar, right? You've got a kid who magically kind of finds his way dropped into the middle of a big league clubhouse and what happens from there. And even the way like the ending plays out is kind of in a similar vein. But I always liked this one more because it felt like more real. Like there's something to Rookie of the Year that is a little hokey, a little corny, and a little unrealistic. Like, you heat up the ice cubes. It's
Ice.
just, yeah, hot ice. It's just kind of dumb. And like the whole premise of, oh, he broke his arm and now his tendons are too tight, so he can throw 100 miles an hour. If that's not a thing, and like the whole premise, and then oh, he struck out the best player in baseball by giving him an underhand pitch. What? There's just something to it that never quite made sense, but you just kind of went with it because it's a kids movie. Little Big League, even though like the premise, yes, would that ever happen? No, it wouldn't happen. But the way they set it up, okay, that might actually happen, right? And the other thing is, it knows baseball. Little Big League gets baseball. It understands players. It understands what baseball looks like. They're actually playing baseball when this movie is going on. You can tell. Like, you can't fake that stuff. That had to be just like the best day at work ever. It's like, all right, go out and play a game. We need some stock footage to show in our montages. And they just went out and played. And you get these, the double play combinations that get turned and all this stuff. So it gets baseball. It has a ton of real big league players in this. And the kid actually knows his stuff. Like it understands the history of the game. It understands everything that goes on in the game. Like, yeah, well, I'm sure we'll get into all of it, but it understands the game more than like any other baseball movie in general, not let alone a kids movie.
Mm-hmm.
And you throw this kid in the middle of it, and he kind of fits because when it comes down to it, big leaguers are just a bunch of little kids. So it's such a fun movie. It's such a fun rewatch that I just rewatched it the last couple days with my kids, and they loved it too. It's funny, it's smart, it's witty. It really, like, there are moments that really make you laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Yeah, this is so. It's kind of hard. We bring in the rookie of the year comparison because they came out relatively the same time. I think it was maybe a year apart, maybe. There is similarities to the stories for sure, but also in my head I was like, oh, Kevin Dunn's character is going to be the sleazy guy trying to steal a team away from the kid. But that didn't happen. I was so like, it's like this is totally not like Rookie of the Year, where you had that one guy trying to steal the guy away from the guy with the Cracker Jacks and yeah, the owner.
Where did she go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like pleasantly surprised. Kevin Dunn.
It works. It works, right? It just
was
works.
Like, yeah, he actually does care because he grew up with the players. The players that were there grew up with this kid in that clubhouse almost every weekend, maybe.
Who's the villain? Baseball.
Baseball,
right? I mean that's the pennant race. That's the villain, if anything. And a kid trying to figure out how to be an adult.
And free agency, being a Scott Boras client.
Yeah.
That's a great one. I know we have our deep diveable categories there. Where do you want to start off?
Well, I want to hear like your thoughts though. Like what did you think watching through this?
So watch it through. This one is it's very entertaining, but it's like you get a lot more of that. It's not looks like a bunch of him playing the game because he's not good at baseball. Like that's the whole thing is he's actually not a really good baseball player.
He just knows the game.
Neither is Henry Rowan Gardner, but at the same time, he becomes a good baseball player, rookie of the year. But this one, he doesn't play baseball. He plays like kind of like stickball in an alleyway to find that love and passion for baseball again. It gets to his head where he becomes like this celebrity and have the status, but he still has to go to school. There's a lot of stuff that with that celebrity, it would never actually happen because like that school is going to be bombarded with press. First of all, his whole birthday celebration is going to be bombarded with press. Like they're going to be tracked down or something like that. So that kind of stuff is the unbelievable aspects of it. But at the same time, it's funny because like you're acting like an adult. You have this job where you're overseeing men, but you still are a kid and you have to respect your mom because you're going to be grounded.
Oh, and one of the best stories from this movie is the mom.
Oh, yes, yeah, it talks about the mom.
Because do you know this backstory?
Yeah, Pete Crow Armstrong.
This is Pete Crow Armstrong's mom. One of the best prospects in baseball right now. His mom is Ashley Crow, who plays Jenny, the mother of Billy in this movie. It's just, it's just all full circle. Now, if only she had played the mom in Rookie of the Year, because Pete Crow Armstrong is a Cub. Like that would have been pretty cool, but
float it. Come on,
just float it.
Oh, there's me something. We need to stop the comparisons between the two movies now.
It's
hard because they're at the same time.
Right.
This is the counter programming of that other Disney movie. So that's the thing.
But I love the mom in this one so much better than the mom in Rookie of the Year though. Like she's a normal person.
Mm-hmm.
Or the mom in the other one is, everyone in that movie is a cartoon, but in Rookie of the Year. But the mom in this one, like one of my favorite scenes that I hadn't really thought of until this time, probably watching it as an adult, as a parent, is when she has to confront him about how he'd been watching Night Nurses from Jersey. And she's 8 times and 3 and she never yells at him. It's like, must have been a good movie. And then he's like trying to tell lies and stuff about it. It's like, Billy, all right, I won't watch those movies anymore. Good answer. And that's all she had to say. That was it.
It's a good call. Oh, we got another victim of the Night Nurses of Jersey. He was asleep in the dugout. Oh, it's good stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff there, and I think the characters of the other baseball players have a lot more personality than they do the other movie they mentioned.
You get to know so many of these characters and so many of the players throughout the.
Correct. Both of these movies have issues with starting the pitching rotation because there's only like 3 pitchers we really focus on here.
Only 2 starters do we actually see. 2 starters, 2 relievers.
2 starters, 2 relievers, and only one of the starters really gets like a whole like really like intriguing story there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I really liked that the aspect though. We get like the hot shot rookie who, who's a good hitter, but no one realizes it other than the manager, which is cool.
Mhm.
And what's his Scales? I
Mickey
think.
Scales.
Yeah, Ricky
Yeah.
Scales. Yeah, really cool prospect.
Mickey
Oh,
Scales.
Mickey. Yeah. Mickey Scales was awesome. And then we got a bunch of baseball players from like Paul O'Neill, Griffey, Randy Johnson, Lou Pinella's in there.
Dave Magadan.
Yeah. And then, Carlos
Another
Beera.
one that probably would have worked for Mets, Mariners.
Yeah.
Magadan.
Magadan. Yeah, that could have worked out probably.
Mags, I know you're a decent human being, but die like a dog.
That's good. Sandy
Pudge
Alomar,
Rodriguez,
Sandy
Sandy
Alomar
Alomar,
Jr.,
Carlos Baerga,
Palmero was in there.
Palmerio, Wally Joyner, Mickey Tettleton, Tim
Yeah.
Raines, Alex Fernandez.
There's a lot of
There's a
good
lot
baseball.
of players that are in this movie. It's great stuff. And then I think my favorite though is the guy who plays Pat Corning, Kevin Elster, who was a big league shortstop for like at this time. He was a big league shortstop, but he just got cast in the movie to be the fictional shortstop.
I didn't know that. That's awesome. That's
Yeah, Kevin
cool.
Elster. His biggest year was like 2 years later. I think '96. I saw he had like 25 homers for the Rangers playing shortstop.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
and then A-Rod came in, and yeah,
right. Back.
Damn, Mariners beat me again. Oh, good stuff.
Yeah, there's so many characters in this, and just it like I said, they're just goofy too, and that's baseball, right? Baseball is just a bunch of goofy guys in a clubhouse that you got to manage and try to find a way to put the chemistry all together. You've got the diva starter who just wants his payday, played by what's his name?
Scott Patterson.
Scott Patterson, who I saw actually played minor league baseball before he became an actor. So he was a minor league pitcher. He actually knew what he was doing out there.
That's pretty cool. And then you got
you could tell. Like that's the other thing is all these guys could play baseball. Like Rookie of the Year, watching Gary Busey pretend to be a pitcher was painful.
Come on,
right?
Rocket. Throw the cheese.
Yeah, and he's like, nyeh, nyeh. Now, I'm a huge fan of A League of Their Own. Yeah, Gina Davis does know how to play baseball. But this movie, every one of them knows how to play, right? Not a single time are you like, dude, that's not a play. No, they're playing baseball, and you can tell. Oh, and then don't forget about what's his name? There's a couple more I want to shout out. No, Tucker Kane, played by Michael Papajohn, who is the guy who kills Uncle Ben in the original Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire. You've got Lonnie's great, but the other one I wanted to shout out was Spencer Hamilton, played by Dawson himself, Wolfgang Bodison from A Few Good Men.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
this
he's the one that bite me.
Yeah. What was that? Bite me.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Bite me.
Yeah.
There's
I also like Bowers. Bowers has got by Jonathan Silverman. Yeah, he's great. He's like, you don't understand math. It's the name's Friday.
Way back at the beginning of the podcast, we did a power ranking of best fictional baseball players.
Yep, I remember that.
Yeah, Bowers was on my list.
Yeah. He's great. He's a great one.
Yeah. The only thing that I don't like about Bowers is Bowers needed to be a lefty. Like that character that needed to be a lefty. And I know Silverman isn't a lefty, so it would have made it hard, but he's a goofy lefty, but he's a righty. So
no.
Oh
well.
Okay. This is great. I love this. I love that we're talking Little Big League. You like the movie?
Oh yeah, it's a 3-star film. It's definitely a 3-star film.
I don't know why I have it as 2.5. This is like at least a 3.
You have to give it thumbs up. This is a thumbs up movie.
This is absolutely.
This is by far better than Rookie of the Year. As a sports movie, it's better than Rookie of the Year.
But nobody talks about this one, right? Everyone loves Rookie of the Year. Everyone talks about Rookie of the Year. Little Big League's a better movie. Okay?
What's funny is there's also, if you did Movie Grid, Billy and Henry row it crossed over in American Pie 2. There we go. Movie grid.
Gosh, that's funny.
Boom. Movie grid.
Okay. Now I know we don't. No, we're gonna go with it. I know it wasn't on the list. It's kind of, but it's always our first sideshow category.
Yep,
What was the best scene in this movie?
Best scene.
Like, there's some great
Oh,
scenes.
I easily the best scene. It's when what's his name, Mike McGreevy. Basically, it's like, yeah, I'm kind of forgetting. I'm kind of forgetting it. It's like, what's the going rate for free agent pitchers that are are
absent-minded pitchers who can't get anybody out?
Yeah, he's like, yeah, what's the going rate for that? That's the best scene. Then all of a sudden, he turned it on. He's like, oh, yeah, I need to get paid. So,
and they started. Only fun I ever had.
most fun I've ever had. Yeah, that's the best scene.
That's a good one. That's a good one. My favorite scene that I could. I don't know how. I haven't seen this movie in forever, but I could almost quote it verbatim as I was watching it. Is Billy trying to prove that he could do it, and him going through the scenario with Mac, like, give me a situation. Let me see what I can do. It's like, all right, we're playing the Yankees. You run her on first, lose up, and it's like, yeah, and he goes like, okay, how many outs? What inning? What's the score? Who's rested in the bullpen? Who's warmed up? And it's like, okay, I'd hit away. It's like, no, see, who's a good bunter? You bunt him over to second. You only need one run. He's like, no, you do that. They would intentionally walk the next guy. Then they bring in the guy with his palm ball and to face the next hitter and double play. Then you take our bat away from our 3, 4, 5 hitters. It's not a very productive time through the middle of our order. What do you need me for?
Danny Tartabull, by the way, Mariners Royals, Immaculate Grid. Steve Farr was a guy that I hadn't thought about for a long time. I had his baseball card. When they brought his name up, I know that guy. Yeah,
they bring up so many random guys throughout this. It's so good. Yeah, and like that whole scene, I'm like, that's baseball right there. If you want to know what baseball is and why I love baseball, it's the thinking and the strategy that plays out in that kid's head in that fake scenario and all the different factors that need to play into it to understand what you should do in that moment. It's situations and its tendencies. I mean, that's exactly what he does right there. So I love that scene. The other scene I love, and it's kind of dumb, and it's one of the more childish scenes in the whole thing, but you gotta love it. It's the whole team standing there working through his math problem before the sudden death playoff game.
Like, okay, what color paint?
What color paint? I should know this. My uncle's a painter.
8 hours.
Why did they buy a house that was already painted? There's so many.
I like it.
There's so many great lines in that. And then Bowers comes in. Oh yes, my diminutive leader.
Yeah, that's great. Lines. You appreciate water balloons as much as I do.
The divine intricacies of the water balloon. That scene I love that scene.
That's a good call. Good call.
Okay, the highest war of the movie.
Highest war of the movie. I think that the movie has such a high war because the person that completely, like, when you think of that general manager, it's Kevin Dunn. Like, that's like the perfect like casting of it. And honestly, like, I thought he was going to be a sleazy character at first because I'm like, he was at the that video recording with of the grandfather, and my wife was like, why is he there if it's the grandfather's like last will and testament? And I was like, because I think he's trying to get the team. He's gonna be disappointed that he doesn't get the twins. It's gonna be this little boy that gets the twins.
Or he knew that's how it was gonna go, and he knew he had to be in the room to
so I was like, he's actually just a good guy, and that's where my like, oh, it's gonna be like kind of like it's the opposite of Rookie of the Year. And that's why he's gonna be a sleazy character like the other guy was in the other movie. But he wasn't. So it was like that's perfect use of Kevin Dunn in that, like especially early. It's a little too many lines for like what if Paul Giamatti would have played that character. Definitely too many lines. I would probably say the Giamatti character is the guy who was giving the random stats to the announcer. That's the Giamatti character. But yeah, Kevin Dunn is my highest score.
That's good. That's good. I went with Jonathan Silverman as Bowers because
that's a good
he's
call.
just like he's one of those guys that just has a personality all on his own, and he's more doing just himself in that moment than anything else. He's one. Another one you got to go with is Dennis Farina as O'Farrell.
O'Farrell, yeah.
Hamilton, what are you doing? Like, you're killing me. Holding him back to a PG in this movie had to be difficult.
It's like Pesci Home Alone. Yeah, it had to be difficult.
Right. It's same idea.
Yeah, I didn't like him because of the Yankees third base coach situation.
Yeah. I had trouble with him when I was third base coach for the Yankees. You had trouble with everybody when you were third base coach with the Yankees. Yeah.
Good call.
That's all right. Worst performance.
This is tough. Probably one of the kids. No, yeah, probably one of the kids in this one. One of like the friends.
Yeah.
I couldn't decide which friend to really bring up, but yeah, probably one of them.
So good though.
But they are good at the same time.
Low war, very low war because
very
of
low
his
war
kids.
Because of kids. So it's not really like worse, but at the same time, it's like if we had to pick somebody, maybe that umpire at the very beginning of the game. No, he's out. No, he's safe. Yeah,
everybody's out.
Yeah, everybody's out.
No, they're all safe.
Yeah.
Hey,
Jeff Garland, no, perfect.
Jeff Garland.
Perfect. He's a high war for that scene.
The little interaction after it's all done. They're all safe. Hey, I took a shot.
They're all safe. Yeah, good call.
All right, I'm gonna go with Troy Startoni as Larry Hilbert, the third baseman. Because in that climactic scene there, he boots the ball.
Boots it. Yeah, Jeff.
And and then he just the interaction with him. It's kind of like this guy. We don't really know this guy that well. This is like the first time we're really truly interacting with him, other than the fact that we know his uncle's a painter.
Yeah, like I don't know why.
And it just doesn't ring as true as everybody else.
Good call. I like it.
And so that's the one that I was like, everybody else feels so authentic. And he's just kind of that, but that's just kind of him too. He's just kind of that ho hum, soft spoken guy. He gets the big hit to keep the inning going. Sets up Lou against Randy Johnson.
We both know that Pebble was what the game's like. Yeah, you don't know that though.
Exactly. I know he doesn't. All right, the minor character of the movie. This is, you've already kind of mentioned it, so I'm gonna go first here. My minor character is Jason Wolf as Wally's stat guy.
Yeah,
that it's just great. By the way, apparently Wally Holland, played by John Gordon, was the actual play-by-play guy for the Twins. So that's pretty cool. They just changed his name. But his stat guy, like, he doesn't say anything, but he has the best nuggets. And it's like, if you want to know baseball, that's
baseball. The most random obscure stats.
Finding the most random obscure stats that you think actually say something about the moment that you're in. That's it right there. Right there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good call. And it's really fun announcer. Like, it's up there with like the John Candy comparison, and even the guy from the other like really cool baseball announcer I like is the guy from Angels in the Outfield. It's like, oh, what a chin. Thanks. Okay, anyway.
Well, of course, the classic is Euchre in Major League.
But, yeah, that's a different one. Yeah, but yeah, for sure. But yeah, some great baseball announcers. That's a good power ranking list, or like a Mount Rushmore. Yeah, but yeah, good call there. Mine, I had Bowers down here, but he's just great, So you mentioned them a lot too. So yeah, Bauer's great minor character, but it is the stat guy that should be the.
Mac, no offense. I look forward to your tutelage.
Yeah.
But Bill.
But Bill.
The other one I'll say is Lowell, the friend that they let hang out with them when Billy's not available.
So yeah, I'm sitting on Lowell.
I'm just sitting on Lowell.
Get off of
He's,
me.
he's actually a really good guy once we let him talk.
Yeah.
Wow, you sound just like my dad.
Like my dad. Good call.
Oh, that kid. I love the kids. The kids are just great. You should start Wedman. Yeah.
Yeah, Wedman. Yeah.
Todd actually had he had one of his fantasy baseball team names one year as "You should start Wedman." It was great. It's great.
Good call.
Okay. Douchebag of the movie.
Are we doing George O'Farrell here? O'Farrell?
You can. I had him more as punchable face, but
yeah,
he's got to be in the tripod of depravity at some place.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Well, okay. For douchebag, let's see here. No, I don't know like that character. The principal, or that teacher. Billy, stop running.
Yeah, that's who I had too. The douchebag. It was the principal, Mr. Patterson.
Patterson, yeah, okay.
And then he has to take the phone call in his office. Like, is it a trade? Is it a big trade? Mr. Patterson, I wasn't running. I was barely walking.
Oh, it's good.
In my office, please. All right, the stick man of the movie.
McGreevy. Yeah, it's Mike McGreevy. Scott Patterson's character. Yeah, because
I knew it was you.
Yeah. Yeah, he had that. He's put that cologne on. He's like, Hodges, good idea. Missing the old hit and run call.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like it.
That's a good one. It's a good one. I'm going with Thomas Heywood, the grandpa played by Jason Robards. Because you got to like just the conversation he has with the mom at the door,
Mm-hmm.
and like it's like Billy could use a man around the house, and I bet you could think of a few things you could use one for too. Thomas.
Oh my god, that's so good. I love my son-in-law.
Good.
I love my son-in-law, but you need to get out.
And then, are you richer than Jed Clampett? I piss on Jed Clampett.
Yeah, good
like, that character is just great.
Yeah.
Or pulling out that some guy from the 1880s wasn't the first African American to play in the big leagues. Like you are in a bad mood.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
All right. Most punchable face. Yeah, I had O'Farrell, Dennis Farina here.
Okay, bring it on. Lou Collins. Most punchable face is Lou, because that guy walked across the field and Field of Dreams and almost let his niece choke on a hot dog. Come on. I can't get
the rules of Ghost Baseball.
Yeah.
MVP of Field of Dreams is John Mulaney.
Oh yeah. John Mulaney gets Oscars 2024. I like it.
Yeah. It is not his first baseball movie. I was reading the trivia on IMDb. Apparently, Timothy Busfield was originally cast as somebody else, and they had someone else. Oh, who was it? They had someone else cast as Lou, and he had to drop out at the last minute. Who was it? It was a notable name. It was a name I recognized. Let me find it here. I don't know. I have no idea who he would have been. But let's see here. Brad Johnson.
Good old Brad Johnson, quarterback. Oh no,
not the quarterback. Yeah, he was. I mean, he's been in not a ton of stuff, but he's been in some stuff. I'd seen him before. Just died recently. Died in 2022. Interesting.
Hmm.
But yeah, he was originally supposed to be Lou. Um, and the Griffey cameo was originally written for Ricky Henderson.
Oh wow, not
It wouldn't
that's
have worked. It wouldn't have worked.
would not have worked.
No, it would not have worked at all. It
Uh,
had to be Griffey.
Best baseball player of the night around that time. So
Well, and then you could pull out Randy too, and you had Lou, and yeah. Okay.
that how scary was Randy Johnson coming to the mound, just
Oh
walking to
yeah,
the mound.
yeah. Just like, and then the celebration when they win, like Randy Johnson is literally like a foot taller than everybody else in the mob.
Great.
like where did they pull out the extras to fill out the roster? They
Hey,
couldn't
short
even come
guys,
up
get
to
over
his
here.
belt buckle.
Good call.
uh,
Who's Nicolas Cage playing in this?
oh man,
I got it.
Is he? I mean, he could be McGreevy. He could be O'Farrell, like that. It could be him. That could be him at one point. Um, it could be who do you have?
Blackout. I got blackout.
You don't take me out of the game. Not if you want to win.
I guess him doing his like freaking chewing tobacco and he's wrapping it in gum. I can just see it.
My son's watching like, what is he doing? And like, it's something you chew on. It's bad for you. Yeah, don't do it.
Don't do it.
Yeah. You eat it. Like, no, you just chew on it and then you spit it out. Why?
It's gross. Don't do it. Oh yeah, that's who I had. Blackout was the one I thought of. Obviously, O'Farrell will be one too. He could make.
You're not a rat boy. That would be an interesting Cage. I think the more like if you're talking like that time period, you'd have to go McGreevy. Yeah. But you like early 2000s, yeah, I could see Blackout potentially slide in there. Okay, this is another one I was thinking of. What's your favorite big league cameo in this movie?
Well, I gotta appreciate the athleticism of King Griffey Jr. He ran like 700 yards to catch that. That was the longest run I've ever seen.
Well, and if you know the Metrodome, like they like put him in like shallow right field to go chase down that like just run the whole way. We want to see, and
his range is incredible.
Looking at like he's like rounding third to win the game 5 in 95 in that sprint. So
yeah, he got up there too. So that's definitely got to be one. The other one that was Paul O'Neill. Paul O'Neill will be the other one because he definitely had the most like screen time of any other cameo.
Yeah, that's a good one. My favorite's Wally Joyner. He only has like a little snippet, but his one line, Lou gets a single and he's rounding first. He stops there and Wally Joyner walks over and goes, "Man, do we ever get you out?" It's just like the perfect that's a baseball player right there. That's a baseball player talking. And then it was like, oh, Wally Joyner, he was a Royal. So there's another one that I can start to look at on my
And David Cohn was a Royal.
David Cohn was a Royal. That's right.
And that was his. And so in the year that this movie came out, he was an All-Star. Yeah, he won 16 games for the Royals.
And this movie came out in the strike season. It's like they're talking about the new wild card that never got to be until 95, even though it started in 94 because of the strike.
Yeah. So it's very fun. Like it would have been interesting to see like because they never actually brought in any pitchers or anything like that, like famous pitchers other than Randy Johnson. But like what it would have been cool to see like a Pedro Martinez in like an Expo jersey.
Oh yeah. Well, Alex Fernandez we did see for the White Sox.
Okay, that
was one like the one we saw. But yeah.
True.
That's a good point. Okay. LVP of the movie.
Benching one of your clubhouse leaders during a pennant race.
Yeah, that was dumb. He's their best player. Their best player.
Yeah, that is true. Best.
What?
That's
Why?
still.
Why? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. My LVP is Jerry Johnson, the star who has faded, and they decide to release him, and then he freaks out on them. Like, I mean,
So this is another where it kind of like the movie did not go like I thought was gonna go. I totally thought that it's like
he was going to be up in the clutch on the other team or
on the
something,
other
right?
team. I was like, watch, he's gonna be the final out of a big game, and he's like, I really hope you prove me wrong. I'm like, he's gonna come back, and then it wasn't like that. I was like, holy cow, this movie totally subverted what I was thinking. What it was
Instead,
gonna
he
be.
Edgars it and becomes a hitting coach.
Yeah, he just didn't have a double.
Mm-hmm. It's true. It's true.
Just had a seeing eye single, and you're that excited for it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, MVP of the movie.
Okay, being my first time watch, I think the ending of the movie is what really is the strong part of the movie, is that they didn't win. And I think it would have been too happy book ending, be very rookie of the year, because like, oh yeah, the kid it's not pitching anymore, and they still went on to win the World Series. We've already discussed that in that movie. We lost 2 of your best pitchers, and you still win a World Series. Very unlikely situation, but you actually got like the more like realistic situation. Like you have a team on a 4-game winning streak. You have a team on a 4-game losing streak with some really great players. How else was it going to play out? And you had like a miraculous play by one of the best baseball players in the world. He had an amazing day. You can even say MVP technically is Griffey because he probably won MVP that year. It sounded like it. He had this big 3-run home run to finish out game 163. He had an amazing catch. He had like 3 hits, a single and a double, I think they said, and a walk.
Not to mention, this is 94, right? This is the strike shortened season where he had like 50 home runs in August.
Yeah, so he's the MVP.
Yeah.
For it.
Yeah, it would but Frank Thomas was right there too, wasn't he? Like Frank Thomas was only a couple homers behind him. Matt Williams in the National League was right there too.
Yeah.
Tony Gwynn was chasing 400. I mean, that's what the season was. And yeah, that's another thing is you've got like Ken Griffey Jr. at the height of his powers.
Oh, Mo Vaughn 1995. Or that was 95. Hold on. I'm
95. 94, they didn't have one because it was the strike shortened season. I don't think they ever announced one.
94. Oh, no. 94, they did. Griffey finished second to Frank Thomas, and then Albert Bell finished third. Kenny Lofton 4, and Paul O'Neill 5.
Wow.
Kirby Puckett, though, did finish 7 for the Twins.
I saw in the trivia on IMDb that there was a faceless number 34 wandering around in the Twins locker room that you never actually saw who it was because it was Kirby Puckett. And it's like, no, the star is still there. We're just not going to talk about him and we're not going to show him because we want it to be about this other stuff. Yeah. No, that's a good call. The ending to this really, it feels like
the correct.
Feels like it. Yeah, it's the correct way to end this. Hit a homer and I'll let you marry her.
Okay,
you can still marry her if you don't hit a homer. Yeah. I've got a few I want to shout out for MVP here. First, Andrew Scheinman, the director. This is the only movie he ever made. This is the only movie he ever directed. Yeah. He was a producer. He wrote a couple things, but this is the only movie he ever directed. And I think it's a great job at directing. And part of why I think it's a great job at directing is another MVP. I love the soundtrack of this movie. I started this movie last night with my kids. I finished it this morning with them, and then we got in the car and went to the Mariner game. And in the car on the way to the Mariner game, we had to listen to Center Field by John Fogerty. We had to listen to Run Around Sue because that just whoa, like that's baseball to me because of this movie. And just watching them like turn a double play to that song, it's like that's just beautiful, and I love it. It's such a cool soundtrack. And then like the villain score they give to Griffey when he's coming to the plate, and like Like never has Griffey felt more villainous and like the bad guy, right? And like he's like he is baseball at this
Well,
point,
the best
right?
thing
Like
he's the baseball.
his video games coming out right now, like he is the guy, and you get him to be your villain, and it works. I mean, it's just not. Which leads me to my last one, MLB. Like the partnership that this movie had to have with MLB to be made like this, of bringing in the players, allowing them to actually be on the field and play. You have an actual big leaguer as cast as your like leading shortstop. You've got your stars, Griffey, Randy, Pudge, Paul O'Neill, um, Mickey Tettleton, Rafael Palmero. I mean, you've got these guys, and of course Wally Joyner. You've got these guys that are out there and playing and doing this movie. Like they must have just been having a blast. They had full access to the Metrodome for however long the shoot was. Like they were like you're not faking that. They are in the Metrodome making this movie. Like you
Mhm.
look at like Major League, they're not in Cleveland. They're like in Milwaukee making that movie at a defunct stadium. Um, in Rookie of the Year, they're faking their way around being in Wrigley. Maybe some of it was actually there, but I don't know how much actually was. But not only the Metrodome, you're in Fenway, you're in Yankee Stadium, you're in Comiskey. Like you're actually in these ballparks. You can tell they're actually there. I mean, it's just great. So the access that they had to the stadiums, the access they had to the players to make this movie work. I mean, there's no like fictional like cartoon of a bad guy like there is in Rookie of the Year that's sticking his tongue out and licking his chops and missing at a slow pitch softball pitch. Um, or even Major League, right? Major League has some of the same stuff that it pulls off. This is actual players, actual situations. Chris Berman calling the whole thing.
Chris
It
Berman, yeah.
Yeah, it's just it feels so authentic in
Yeah.
almost every way.
Mhm.
Uh, the conversations with the friends, uh, does Batman ever get drive through? And what's so hilarious, like the next year, Batman Forever, there's a little comment at the beginning of the movie that he's going to get drive through, and I bet it's because of Little Big League.
I
Ask those
put that
questions.
together.
Conspiracy theory. I think that what are the friends' names? Chuck and Joey. Chuck and Joey grow up to be Skinny Pete and Badger from Breaking Bad because the conversation and this might just show how childish Skinny Pete and Badger are. Their conversations are the same, right?
Mhm.
They're the dumbest, stupidest, simplest things, but that's what kids talk about, right? You debate dumb, stupid things, and you that's how you entertain yourself all day.
This is true.
Um, is this even fishing? Uh,
That's a good one.
kids do amazing things these days, man. Man, I went and played winter ball in Venezuela. They had a whole village of kids, all of them speaking Spanish.
So they speak. That's what
They
I'm saying to
they
you.
speak Spanish in Venezuela. I know that's what I mean.
All right. Well, with that, this is a great movie. Make sure you guys go check it out. It's bad that it's not streaming anywhere for free,
It's
but
not,
it's
but
a very cheap rental for $3.99.
it's really hard to find. Like a cheap $3.99 rental, but like the DVD's out of print. Uh, why is this movie hard to find? Let's get it out there. Let's make it happen.
You
It's
know,
on
what movie
MLB
is
Network a lot in the off season, so you can always
you
find
know
it
what movie is even harder to find than this one?
there. Mm.
Disney's Angels in the Outfield. Not even streaming on Disney Plus. Anyway,
That's the movie that came out the same year, right? That was another '94 release.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Matthew McConaughey,
All
Danny
right, all right,
Glover.
all right.
Yeah. All right, and Tony Danza. All right. Well, yeah, go watch Little Big League and go Mariners or whatever pro sports team you do root for, but hopefully our
But
Mariners.
mostly the Mariners.
Well,
Yeah.
mostly Mariners and not the Astros. Anyway, until next time, any final words there, Terry?
Oh man, I love baseball season. It's my favorite time of year. I love baseball movies. This is one of the better ones. Like I would say, it top five baseball movie here for me. Little Big League.
No, that's not a bad. That's not a bad shot. I like
Yeah.
it. All right. Until next time, it's been Terry and Adam. We'll see you on the next one.
Thanks for having me. See you later.
See ya.